Welcome back to another episode of Big Bear Boston Convo, episode number 68. The conversation I want to get into today: who has the better overall resume between Oscar De La Hoya or Canelo Alvarez? Will it also help us understand the reason why boxing is based on more of a popularity contest versus true body of work? Let's get into a few short clips on some of the guys that Oscar De La Hoya has faced over the years, and also compared to what Canelo Alvarez is doing today.
Boxing is influenced by different things other than great fighters and good performances and other things. So
ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. By way of Caesar's Palace, here is the Budweiser scorecards. Chuck Jappa scores about 115 to 111. Jerry Roth has it 116 to 110. And Dalby Shirley scores it 116 to 110 for the winner by unanimous decision and new featherweight champion of the world.
I'm gonna let Richard do this. I was gonna let Richard do it, but I can do this. From lightweight, from junior lightweight to the middleweight championship. That's over. You can count. The Golden Boy, my friend, my partner, Oscar De La Hoya. I don't understand Spanish. You ain't tough.
Stop
You ain't tough. You don't scare me, man. I'm a beast, man. Let's go. I'm the top dog of this. I'm the top dog of this.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the press conference. That's it, let's go.
So let's get right into the video. The video will be broken down in two different rounds. Round one is going to be the comparisons between Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo Alvarez. Round two will be based on the way fans view the sport of boxing, based on popularity instead of true body of work. So let's get into round one, the comparison. So for me, I think it's easy. I grew up around the sport of boxing. I've seen a lot of different fights, a lot of different champions, especially in the 90s and early 2000s, all the way up until now. So I got to see a lot of Oscar De La Hoya's fights. I got to see when he was really young, and a lot of other great champions that came along at that time. But I wanted to break this video down, especially compare the two between Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo Alvarez, because I wanted to take the race thing out. Anytime you speak race on any type of channel or anything, it's always an easy route out. It's always an excuse. For me, it's always an easy argument. You can call somebody racist all you want to, so for me, it's just an easy argument. So I want to make it more of an educational argument instead of a race baiting and all that other stuff. So let's go ahead and get into the comparison. So Oscar De La Hoya, every time he fought a champion, they was already a true champion before he faced him. I can name so many, like I said, I can name so many fighters: for Mayweather, Bernard Hopkins, Trinidad, Ike Forte. These guys that I put Bernard Hopkins on here, but a lot of these guys, you guys may never heard of them. Especially Ike Forte. This guy was knocking people out left and right with both of his hands. And also, Ike Forte was a really good boxer as well. But also Trinidad was very, very dangerous. He was knocking people out with his left and right. He was a really talented boxer. One of the most skillful boxers that I have ever seen to come out of Puerto Rico. So the thing is, every guy that Oscar De La Hoya faced they already had their own name. Pernell Whitaker already had his own name. He was Floyd Mayweather before Floyd Mayweather. If you don't know who Pernell Whitaker is, please go look him up. Like I say, it's so many boxers that I can get into. Fernando Vargas. Please go look him up. Fernando Vargas was a dog. He was an animal. He wanted to prove that he was the best as much as Oscar De La Hoya did at that point in time. There's so many, like I say, I can keep going on and on and on about the names, throwing names out. So the reason why I have to give it to Oscar De La Hoya, because he made it clear when he was younger, he was a cash cow for a reason, because he truly earned it in a different manner that Canelo Alvarez is doing now. But if you want to get into Canelo Alvarez, a lot of guys that he's facing now, I give it to him early in his career. He was facing some decent guys. But those guys still couldn't beat the guys that Oscar De La Hoya beat back in his time. So I give it to him early in his career, but what he's doing now, he's more of a businessman. I already got a video that came out already, so please go check that one out. He's a businessman. He's taking an easier route. He's getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars to knock out guys that's from other countries that we never heard of before. That's just as plain as I can get it. These guys, Bebo, whatever. These guys will not beat Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is a superstar. He's the most skillful boxer in the sport of boxing today, and he's taking advantage of what he's doing because he knows he's going into easier fights. Triple G 1 and 2, really good fights. I have to give it to him. Erislandy Lara, really good fights. I have to give it to him. Floyd Mayweather, I'm not going by wins and losses, but I have to give it to him because he knew he had to face the best so he can become the best one day, and he did that. He did it. There's a couple other fighters out there that I can say, okay, Canelo, I have to give it to him, but that was early in his career. What he's doing now with the European trip and all that other stuff, it's just not for a fan, like a true fan of boxing like I am. I know it's only especially nowadays, it's not that many true boxing fans out here nowadays, but I know a lot of people on my channel, y'all are true boxing fans because I get it the way you guys speak. Even when you put a comment, even if you don't agree with me, I can tell you know the sport of boxing. I put up old fights. I can talk boxing with anybody that's on my channel because you really know it. But I love to get into other people's comments and see what's going on in today's sport of boxing and the way people judge the sport of boxing. So Canelo is a popular fighter, so he gets judged differently than Oscar De La Hoya would if he was doing that same stuff back in those days, back in the 90s and early 2000s. He would have got judged so different. Back in the day, you had to face a champion. If you wanted a belt, you was going to have to face that champion. And a lot of times, the champion already had a name. Nowadays, you can throw somebody a championship belt. You can give them a name of pride or whatever you want to do with them now, and nobody says anything. It's so different. And the fans, they don't know. The fans, they don't really know any better. But if you was to take Canelo Alvarez and put him back in the the mid 90s and the early 2000s, all the way up into the early 2000s or in the mid 2000s, Canelo probably wouldn't have the same record. Canelo probably wouldn't be the same fighter or as popular. I don't care if it's Triple G, anybody, none of those fighters was better than the fighters that Oscar De La Hoya faced, hands down. It does not compare. It's like night and day. It's like apples to oranges. It's so different. And you guys, like I say, do your homework. Let's get into round two. So this is round two. Let's get into more of the comparisons between the way a lot of fans judge the sport of boxing nowadays. I think it's hilarious. I really do. Every time I get into somebody else's comments and stuff, I think it's so funny how people judge the sport of boxing today. It's more of a popularity contest. The most popular guy does not have to fight the most dangerous guy. And the most dangerous guy get called out because he's not fighting the most popular guy. How are you going to be the most popular fighter and you never have to face the most dangerous fighter? And then the fans, y'all judge it based on, like I say, it's more of about popularity contest. It's not about true body of work. A lot of people get on Devin Haney. They boo him at fights and stuff like that. The fans get into the comment section and say Devin Haney got to step up. How can somebody step up if the most popular guy never fights that man? How can Shakur Stevenson got judged based on his performance? He had a shutout performance and still got called a boring fighter. I tried to explain to somebody. They tried to get into my comments on my channel and try to say that, hey, you compare Floyd Mayweather to Devin Haney or something. No, I said that they have similar styles. So similar styles does not make you a popular fighter. It makes you a winner, and fans expect you to. If you was in the ring, would you change your style if you was winning? I don't think so. If something is working, why? If it ain't broke, why fix it? But nowadays, that gets judged like you're a bad fighter, like you a no good fighter. You don't deserve to go to any fights. You don't deserve a championship belt. You got to go through hoops and and jump off a bridge just to be just as good as the popular fighter. The most dangerous guy should be the popular guy. The guy that's dangerous in Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Tank Davis, and I have had videos where I said that Tank Davis, just to make sure I don't put race into it, I said Tank Davis should be able to get bigger fights. We're fighting Rolly Ramirez. I don't agree with that fight. Will it be a decent fight? I think so. It's whatever, but it's not the fights that the fans want to see. So it's not, for me, it's not about race. It's about common sense. So if you take the race out of it and put the common sense in there, the guys that really wanted, the most dangerous guys, Shakur Stevenson, for me, Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney are the two most dangerous guys in the lighter weight divisions. They're the two most dangerous guys, but they get the most disrespect by fans and also the commentators. Somebody said, why are you saying that Devin Haney needs to leave the zone? But if you own these different platforms, these guys they businessmen. They're not boxing experts or guys that have been around the sport. They know the sport of boxing brings a ton of money per year. They make billions off these guys per year. Oh, I don't know about billions, but as a whole, they hundreds of millions of dollars. So you tell me something. You fight on a network, and then the guy, that's the most popular, which is Ryan Garcia. He said, "Hey, you got out. You don't have to face Devin Haney. You can go out and face anybody you want to." Ryan Garcia is not even a champion. So the fans will go. And since he's the most popular guy, y'all will go and take up for the most popular guy instead of giving the most dangerous guy the credit that he deserves. So you see where I'm going? It's more of an educational point when you get on my channel. If you don't know the sport of boxing, you cannot get on my channel and try to talk boxing with me, because I'm going to make these type of videos, and I'm going to start shutting y'all guys down, because it's not going to be the same you getting on somebody else's channel. They may not even say nothing to you. I'm going to say something back to you. Yeah, it's not going to come from a place of hate and all that other stuff, because it's all debate. That's what this channel is about, debate and the conversation of boxing. But a lot of you new boxing fans out here, y'all seen one or two fights and you think you done heard of a name, Kambosos. Kambosos is the most popular fighter. Why is he taking a tune-up fight before he fight the most dangerous fighter in Devin Haney? If Devin Haney was the most popular fighter, if he was to do that, he would get judged differently, right? Is it different? You guys tell me. Let me know what you think about this topic down in the comments below. That's going to conclude another episode of Big Bear Boxing Convo, episode number 68. You guys let me know what you think about this topic down in the comments below. If you want to see what I'm wearing, shopsatya.com. Follow me on all social media platforms on the currently own. Links will be down in the descriptions below. Just want to thank you guys. I can do each and every single video. If you're old to the channel, new to the channel, please try to make sure you watch the full video so you get the full breakdown of the content. Also, if you like the video, leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And also, it's very important to hit that notification bell so you guys won't miss out on upcoming videos on my channel. With all that out of the way, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Big Bear Boxing Convo.